Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Be Honest podcast. This is your host, Kinley. Today I have Alex with over 7 million on TikTok. It is safe to say he is a TikTok sensation. He amazed everyone with his unique gender transitions, fostered a safe place for the LGBTQIA plus community, actively fights for equality, and is known to spread love to all. I feel like that's a pretty good description for you, right?
Very nice, so sweet.
She's like, thank you.
Thank you.
But yes, so thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited for us to jump into all of the topics that we have to talk about.
Yes, me too.
Okay, so first, I want to just check up and see how are we feeling about the world and everything that's going on with Mr. freaking Cheeto Head. Like, how are we feeling about everything?
Not good at all. I think it's the worst thing ever.
Mm-hmm. We're laughing.
Yeah.
We're laughing through the pain.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Everything that's going on, it's really sad. And it makes me, I said this on one of my other episodes. I talk about this topic on almost every single episode. I just feel like we have to. I feel like it's so
Mhm.
important.
Yeah.
But makes me really lose hope in America
Mhm.
that someone voted someone like that into like to be our actual president. Like it's insane. You're
It's so
laughing.
insane. Yes, I just seen a clip the other day of like Donald Trump literally has his um
Mugshot.
mugshot. Yeah, just posted up in outside the Oval Office. I'm like, oh, so it's just like a joke.
It's
Like,
it's a joke. And
yeah,
the White House, it might not be the White House, but it was some Instagram
it's the
that
white Instagram.
okay, they
Yeah,
also posted something about it was like one of those Valentine cards and it was
yeah,
like something about like if you're an illegal immigrant like we will deport you. But it was like supposed to
yeah,
be joking,
yeah.
but
I seen that. I was like, what? Like that's so crazy to me that these are the people who are like running our country. Like it's
yeah.
comical to even say, but it's the truth. Like it's
Mhm.
like what?
Yeah. And it just shows how much power they have. Like they can post that or like the White House, whoever runs it, can post it and it's like we're not going to like we may get hate for it, but like who cares? You know, it's just they just
Yeah,
don't care.
yeah, literally.
Makes me so upset.
Me
Okay.
too.
Me too. I could talk about this forever. Forever. I will get pissed off. Okay, so Trump passed something that and again I may be wording this terribly, so for my listeners I apologize if I word this wrong, but Trump said that America can only acknowledge two genders, like female and male. But how do we feel about that?
Yeah, I think he's just so focused on the wrong things that shouldn't that have nothing to do with him that he shouldn't even focus on. And it's just so weird. Like why are you even talking about this?
And it's like, why does it affect him so much? It's kind of like the Gulf of Mexico. Like, we have
Yeah,
so many things that we need
exactly.
to focus on, and you want to change it to the Gulf of America.
Exactly.
It's just
He's
power.
also trying to bring back plastic straws. Don't know if you've recently seen that, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah, I saw all of that. And
what?
his excuse was it like melts in your mouth, which I mean,
Yeah,
I will say sometimes it does get
it
soggy,
does.
but I'm
But
also
I'd
like
rather
I'm willing to drink out of a
exactly.
you know, to prevent it from like lodging inside of a sea turtle's nose or something, you
Yeah,
know?
literally.
Okay, sorry. We were on gender and then we started talking about plastic straws. It's okay. That's literally my podcast. Okay, so in your posts on TikTok, in your captions, you often use hashtag gender with like a question mark. Can you explain what that means? Are you aiming to like dismantle the stigma associated with gender? Like what is the reasoning behind that?
I think most of the time it honestly is just to confuse people because like I feel like obviously people are gonna be confused either way. And I like to just confuse them even more and just put I don't know either. Like gender, who knows?
You're like, I don't know. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just living.
Exactly.
Period. No, I get that. So, what does gender mean to you?
Um, that's a good question.
Yeah. It's a loaded question. I get it. I get it. So you can take a second to think about it if you need.
It's so funny. No, I feel like gender to me is just like it's truly just being myself and how I express myself, and I feel like gender goes into a lot in life, and yeah, I don't know.
No, yeah, I hear you. When people say like gender is fluid, do you agree with that? And like, how would you, I mean, if you agree with it, how would you explain that to someone? Like, how is
Okay,
gender fluid? Because to me, it makes sense, but
yeah,
there's people that are like, I don't get it.
yeah. I feel like gender is fluid to mostly everybody. I feel like gender is such a spectrum, and like, ah, like that's what like to like gender fluidity to me is like it's a spectrum of like gender. Like you don't know how you'll feel one time or a different time, and like, yeah.
No, I hear you. I was in I took a class in college. It was called human sexuality. It was the coolest. I will admit I didn't know the difference between gender and sex, like
Yeah,
the meaning behind them. And human sexuality, like it made me realize that like, gender is how you are feeling. It's like how
yeah,
you want to express yourself and like but
yeah.
then sex is what you were born with.
Like, what you were assigned at like birth is like your sex, but
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yep,
I feel like that's where people get like the confused like whenever I or people in general say, gender is fluid. They're like, "Well, how is gender fluid if you're a boy or if you're a girl?" And it's like, well, there's a difference between sex and gender,
yeah,
like gender it's how you're feeling. It's how you want to express yourself that day. If you feel more masculine, feminine, whatever it is. Like
yeah,
of course it would be fluid, but I feel like that's where the people that don't get it, they like don't know the difference between the two.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Would you say your relationship with your own sexuality has changed since transitioning? I ask this because I saw on your TikTok how you said you had to come out many times due to just not really knowing who you are. You laugh about it. So can you just tell us your journey with that and like your thought
Yeah,
process behind like trying to figure all of this out?
yeah. I feel like my sexuality definitely changed a lot when I like started transitioning, and even before I started transitioning, I just feel like I was always. Oh, I feel like I always felt like I had to choose one and like had to either like girls or like boys or whatever. Like I needed to fit a category. And so when I started transitioning, it was like, well, now I can only like girls because that's like the quote unquote normal category. Like, even though, like, to society, because obviously
Yeah.
any relationship's normal. But like, I think that's like why I felt that way. And like, when I started transitioning, it was like I felt that way, but then I feel like testosterone, like, I don't know, I feel like it messed with my sexuality so much because it, like, I don't know. I feel like I was just able to be more free with myself, so I was able to express it more, if that makes sense.
No, I hear you. I hear you. So the days that you do sometimes post videos of you dressed up more feminine, like would you get offended if somebody called you she her, like let's say you dressed up as more feminine and you went out in
Hmm.
public, would you get offended if someone like said, oh, she looks beautiful, like would you be like,
Yeah.
oh, like that's not
Yeah.
cool, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I don't think I would. I know there's people that would, and their feelings are completely valid, and I understand why they would feel that way. But I think I like understand that sometimes if I socially project myself differently, I'm going to be seen differently. So
Yeah.
I think I've like learned to like deal with it, I guess. Not like it sometimes still does affect me, but it's not like I'm not mad at that person. I'm not like, because it's like if I seen me walking around, I would have been like, she looks pretty. Like that's I
Yeah.
get it. So yeah, I don't think I get offended or anything.
I like your outlook on that. I follow this transgender woman on where is it on? TikTok, I think. All the platforms kind of merge together with me, but I think it's TikTok. And she goes out in public and she is in the process of still like trying to fully look more feminine,
Hmm.
So people sometimes identify her and call her him.
Yeah,
And she and maybe you've seen her on TikTok, but she gets pissed at these people. Like she
yeah,
gets
I have
mad. She
seen
doesn't.
videos. I don't agree with her videos, to be honest, and I feel like a lot of the time, like she uses like her content, like it's like she'll go to these places and like
Mhm.
do that just for content. Like all her videos are that doing that, and so yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely don't agree with that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was getting at. So this kind of goes into what we just talked about, but maybe you have another answer for it, I don't know. So how do you feel about labels and pronouns? I've met a lot of people that are in the LGBTQI plus community. I actually watched this Jubilee video yesterday, and it was like these conservative lesbians, and then like these liberal lesbians, and these conservative lesbians were like, I don't agree with pronouns, like blah blah blah. So, anyways, how do you feel about that?
I feel, well, I think pronouns and labels can be important for a lot of people, and like they're important to me. I mean, I don't really think labels are as important to me, like, but I think my pronouns are important and stuff, and everybody has them. So I think it's so
Yeah,
funny when people say, like, I don't do the pronouns, I don't have pronouns. But I'm like, you do.
it's the country
Like,
accent for me because
yeah.
that's spot on. Yeah.
But yeah, I think, like I said, they don't have to be important. I think that's my point. Like, I feel like pronouns and labels can be important to some people. But then at other times, it's like people are like, I don't like them, I don't want them, and I don't think people should force labels on those people. But yeah.
Totally. No, I'm the same way. When it comes to pronouns, it's like what you said. It's like everyone has pronouns. Hello. Like everyone has pronouns. Like get over
Yeah.
yourself. But when it comes to labels, like if I had to label myself, I would say I'm lesbian. I have a partner, she is a girl, she identifies as a woman, she's a lesbian. And I like women. And so I identify, if I had to, as a lesbian. But then I also think about it as like sexuality is very fluid. I think labels sometimes can
Yeah.
restrict you, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's why some people may get kind of hesitant. And it's honestly stupid. It's also another standpoint is like, why do I have to label myself if I'm just loving a human? Like, why do I have
Yeah.
to say I'm lesbian just because I like the same sex? I want us to jump into gender affirming care. Are you down for that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so you post a lot about gender affirming care. Your whole TikTok is it's just awesome. People, go look at his TikTok. It's awesome. I love it. You're out there fighting and I love it. Anyways, what is gender affirming care for the listeners who don't know what it is?
Gender affirming care is like any sort of hormone surgery, voice lessons, anything that helps affirm your gender, basically, like any medical care that, or not even medical, it doesn't have to be medical, but majority for like what we're talking about, like it's medical access to like top surgery, to testosterone, to estrogen, to anything like that. Like, yeah.
Mhm. Is it also mental health services?
Yes, definitely. I think they're like when the place I get my testosterone through, like it's like an online thing, and they have all types of stuff on there, and like all of it's gender affirming care. Like there's like mental health people, there's like therapists that are specifically for trans youth, or specifically for trans adults. Like there's a lot of stuff, and all of that's gender affirming care. Like if gender affirming care got banned, like all of that would be gone with it. So it's
That
not
is
just
crazy.
like medical stuff.
That is so upsetting. Like it's just so annoying, and it's the freaking old white men that
Yep.
are trying to pass these laws. It's like
Yep. Literally.
you're like literally, don't even get me started. Um okay, so what would you say sorry, gender affirming care means to you personally?
Yeah. Gender affirming care for me personally is like, well, I take testosterone, and that's like lifelong, and I will do that for the rest of my life, and that's something that has affirmed my gender and like completely changed my life. I feel like that's really it. I feel like I engage in things that are like gender affirming care, like me like doing my makeup and wigs and all that. Like that's all like affirming to myself. It's not like medical care or like anything like that, but I feel like that's things I do that like are affirming, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. So this is kind of sort of kind of the blends into the question I just asked you, but my question is, how has how has gender affirming care impacted your life? And I know you kind of already told me like testosterone, like that changed my life, but like
Mhm.
how would you say it has? Like what are the like details behind it? And like also like how has gender affirming care impacted like lives of people that you know?
Yeah, I feel like me. I feel like okay. First off, like how it affected people I know. I feel like my mom specifically, she literally told me that like I just seemed like a completely different person in the best way. It was like I finally was just like it all clicked or something. That's like how it felt like for her watching it. But for me, it was basically the same thing. But I feel like a lot of stuff changed for me. Like my anxiety going out in public changed. Like I was just able to go out better, and I think it's because I wasn't as nervous because I was starting to look how I wanted to look. So it was like I could do more things where before I thought I was just like socially anxious and didn't want to do anything. But like I think I did. I just didn't feel comfortable doing anything. So I think that like was one of the major things that changed for me. And like emotionally it changed like how I deal with my emotions a lot, and I feel like that is like scientific as well, but like just talking like my own journey with it, like how I've dealt with my emotions, I feel like I deal with them a lot differently now because I was able to access like that gender affirming care. And
And yeah.
yeah.
Okay. No, that's great. I love that. So what would you say, like, have you ever encountered like any challenges or faced any like challenges accessing gender affirming care? Like, has there ever been a time where it was just super challenging or like you had pushback or anything like that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of times, and like there was one time where there was a testosterone shortage, and like it
Mhm.
made the testosterone prices raise like double. Like my testosterone was like $30 or something. It was more than double. It was like it went up to like 200 something. Like that it was like ridiculous, and like I couldn't pay that every month. Like I don't know, like that's freaking a lot of money. Like and it's just like I don't know. It was just stuff like that, and then sometimes it's like pharmacies won't acknowledge those like prescriptions right away. It's like I have to wait so long to get my refill, and it's like, but I
Yeah.
like put that refill in like 4 weeks ago or something, and it's like, where is my medication? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I feel like majority of the time I have been lucky. Like, I everything has gone smooth for me, and I've found like good services that like I use Folks. If anyone's watching, like Folks Health. They're amazing. That's how I get my gender affirming care. But it's like I don't know. Just sometimes it's like just and it's not even I don't know. It's like so dumb. Like
No, I hear you. It's like they put you on the back burner because they see
yeah,
it's testosterone and they're probably like people need other things. It's like
yeah,
yours isn't as important than the other things
yeah.
is what they're saying.
Literally, literally.
Oh God, that's so annoying. How would you feel, how do you feel about people like in the world, them being like, you know, kids and minors, they don't need to seek gender affirming care, like it's a mental health crisis, like, oh, and they like just make it a big deal. Like
Yeah,
how do you feel about people being like they cannot, like these minors, these children, these however old they are, they should not be able to seek gender affirming care?
yeah. I think it's just dumb because it's just like I feel like they're if your child is coming to you and like telling you this is how they feel like I don't know. I feel like there's so many people out there who think that like these children are being forcibly transitioned and their parents are like you said you like dresses so you're a girl and we're going to force you to be one. Like nobody's doing that. Like and like if you look at the numbers of how many like trans kids there are in the US too, it's like it's not huge because like it doesn't happen very often. Like a lot there's not parents out there just transitioning their children like that isn't a thing like I had this mutual on TikTok. I don't know if you know Viandre, but she is like a trans TikToker, but she came out when she was like very young. Like she started transitioning. I don't want to like state wrong facts, but I believe she started transitioning when she was like 7 or something, like very young, like socially transitioning. And then her parents put her on estrogen, I think when she was like 13 or 12, around that age. Again, don't know if I'm saying the right stuff. So I just know she was young, like
Yeah.
a minor. And like, I went on a podcast with her and she was talking about it one time and she was like she was so grateful that her mom did that and like believed her and like listened to her and like like she wasn't forced to do any of that. Like I don't know, it was just it's so crazy, like
Yeah.
especially like knowing someone who did transition when they were a kid. I I don't know, I feel like if your kid knows and they're coming to you with stuff like kids, I feel like people think kids are stupid and people think kids like can't make decisions for themselves, period. And it's like there's kids who are there's probably so many kids out there who are smarter than our president right now, but we elected him, so I
There's
don't get it.
probably a lot of kids out there that are smart.
Literally.
No, I get that. I think honestly, it's the people that don't know what gender affirming care is. I think when they hear that, they think it's like, oh, these parents are like chopping off this, and that, like they're mutilating
Yeah.
their kids, and it's like what you said. Most of the time, they start to transition socially, and then
Socially,
it gets
yeah.
to like the more physical aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Donald Trump came out with like a statement and like this was like a big thing because it was like hilarious and people were like making fun of him on TikTok. At least my side. My side of TikTok makes fun of Trump. I don't know other people, whatever. But it was whenever he said like you send your kids to school and then they get not I don't think the word was mutilated, but then they come back and they are a different gender, like they're a different
Yeah.
sex, they're a different sex. And it's the funniest thing because it's like what he's trying to make it seem like these teachers are like
Yeah.
performing these like surgical weird shit on these kids, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and I when I say
No.
weird shit, I want to make sure I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like it's not
No, I know
happening.
what you're meaning.
Yeah, it's
It
not
would be
happening
weird if
at
that was happening.
exactly. It
Yeah.
would be very weird if it was happening at the school.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because
Exactly.
I'm a teacher. And
Hmm.
so it's just funny because I'm like, uh, how, like, number one, why are people believing him, first of all?
Yeah.
Especially that statement. And then I'm like, as a teacher, how like show me how we do that, how do we perform these things on these kids, like it's just the stupidest shit ever. And again, I think it's because our own president, which we know this, but he's not educated on what gender affirming care is. He doesn't know,
Yeah.
and so he thinks it's just like chopping off body parts, and it's like there's so much more mental health, like I think anyways, okay, I will not go on a rant. I'm sorry, you can see me getting heated. Okay, do's and don'ts if someone is looking to seek gender affirming care. Sorry.
um, I would say dues are going to be like going to the doctor and making sure that everything is safe, like doing it safely.
Yeah.
Don't illegally get your testosterone, like please.
You can
Like
you can do
maybe
that. I mean, I guess.
I mean like I don't think so. I don't
Probably.
know, but maybe like don't take your friend's testosterone or something.
Yeah.
Like maybe go get your blood work done and make sure everything's safe before doing that.
Yeah.
And like just be safe. Like don't, yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Because
Totally.
you never know.
Yeah. So whenever you do go to the doctor, like what is the process? Like if you are wanting to get testosterone or whatever else that is needed,
Hmm.
what is the process that you have to go through?
Well, me, like I said, the service I went through is like, there's a lot of services like that, not just the one I talked about, but there's like so many online services that you literally just talk to like a therapist online, you schedule an appointment, they talk to you for a little bit, and like that therapist will then diagnose you with like gender dysphoria and they'll do all of that for you, and it's like so much easier than having to go to the doctor and being like, I'm seeking gender affirming care. This like because that can be scary to do that. You like these services are made for like that. They have like I literally talked to a trans guy myself, like the guy who I was talking to, like who literally diagnosed me with that. It's like he's trans himself, so he'll
Yeah.
probably understand or like be able to see if I should be able to start testosterone or not. And it was so amazing, and like easy in the most like safe best way. Like it was so good. Then like after they say that you have gender dysphoria and you're allowed to start it and stuff, um, I think I got my blood work done first, and like they just check your blood, make sure your testosterone levels are already normal, all that, and then you're able to start for real. And like I just get it sent in the mail, and I just do it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah. That's awesome that it was a smooth process for you. I love that.
yeah,
You said
I was
you
super lucky.
that's great. So you said you use Folks?
Yes.
Folks. Okay. And is it like an app or like do
It's a
you
website, and it's just like there's other ones, like there's Plume and
Okay.
I think another one, I don't know, but they they're awesome. Always like have been very great and very like responsive at the same time. Like I always have access to my doctor. Like I can message my health provider at any time, and
Oh,
it's
that's
like
great.
yes, super great.
That's great. So this reminded me, I was watching a video and it was like a big group. It wasn't the Jubilee video, but it was like a group of gay people just like in
Hmm.
the community, LGBTQIA plus, just like all of them. Um they were talking about how I need to word this correctly. They didn't like the fact that if you are thinking about transitioning, you have to be diagnosed with gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
Okay. Um and I was watching and these people were talking about how like it made them feel like that they had like this mental health problem and it was like this thing that they had to be diagnosed with. And so like how do you feel about that? Like do you feel
Yeah.
like there needs to be like a diagnosis or like, you know?
Yeah. I feel like especially if we're talking like minors, like I do think you should probably get a proper diagnosis and stuff just to make sure that is something you would like to do. But I feel like it is like as an adult, I think that was something I struggled with, and that's why I like the health providers I went through because I didn't have to really deal with any of
Mhm.
that. It's like I didn't really even know that that's what was happening. You know,
Yeah.
like I didn't know he was questioning me on all this stuff to diagnose me with that, and to like I didn't really know that's what was happening, but that's what was happening. And so
Yeah.
it's like it was like I don't know. I think that like even like you said that one of the people were like they didn't like that it feels like they're trying to portray it like a mental health thing because it's like yes, it goes into mental health, but it's not why like my me being trans isn't like that's not
Yeah.
why I want to kill myself. That's not why, don't actually want to. But like, that's not why people want to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Like it can go into it and it's like very obviously like duh, like
Yeah.
trans suicide rate is very high for that exact reason. But if it was easier to get gender affirming care and they wouldn't have to get diagnosed and
Mhm.
do all these things, maybe it would be a little lower.
Totally. And if people just weren't so fucking mean and homophobic in this
Yes,
world,
exactly.
like, yeah, there's an umbrella on that one. Like, there's so much that
Yeah.
falls into that. But okay, yeah, I was interested about that because,
Yeah.
yeah, in the video there was like so many different views on it, and I was like, huh, yeah, I feel like if which obviously I'm not in a position to like understand how people are feeling, but of course I'm the type of person that tries to put myself in their shoes. So I'm like,
Hmm.
if I was someone that was trying to transition, I'm not sure if I would like some healthcare professional to be diagnosing me with something because even if it's not like even if they're not portraying it as like this bad diagnosis in my brain I'd be
Hmm.
like are they
Yeah.
thinking I'm like mentally unstable, like are they
Yeah.
thinking like there's something wrong with me and that's why I
Mhm.
want to transition, you know what I mean? I don't know, I feel like I would have a hard time doing that. I don't not doing
Yeah.
that but like hearing that I'd be like that's kind of shitty. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's at least how I would
Yeah.
feel.
Literally, I think that, yeah, that's literally it.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so I want us to jump into your sexuality.
Yeah.
So I just got a couple questions here. So when did you know that you were a part of the LGBTQIA plus community?
Probably when I was like I really knew, like I feel like I always knew, but like I really knew when I was like 12 probably.
Okay. And how did you like what made you realize it? Like what was the aha moment where you were like, "Yup."
I honestly don't think I had one. I think it's like I think I just like always knew. Like it was just like
Okay.
I just always knew, and like I never really I don't know, like even me like coming out, like it wasn't like I don't know. I have a really supportive family. I didn't like feel like it was like a big deal, you know? So I don't know. I think I just always knew and it's just always there.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember you posted something about how your dad was super supportive, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So are your what I don't know if this is too much to ask. What is the dynamic of your family? Are your parents still together?
Yes.
Okay, good. Great. Amazing. So, when you came out to your friends and your family, you said your dad was supportive, but was your mom, was
Yeah.
everyone else supportive?
Yeah. I
Okay.
feel like everyone in my immediate family was super supportive. Like my mom, dad, brother, my brother's wife, like all immediate family was like super supportive. My aunts support me, everything like that. I feel like outside of that, that's about like
Yeah.
like it's literally just like I feel like my uh it's like my mom's mom and dad, they're very supportive and that's like the farthest it'll go. Like, you know,
Gotcha.
outside of that, it's like I'm topic of dinner table discussions. So,
100%.
yeah,
100%. Yes. Where did you grow up?
Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Love that. Um Did you have any like friends that I know you said you're immediate, but like did you have any people at all that you loved like as a human or like you just had a connection with them like in a friendly way and they ended up realizing that, you were a part of the community and they were like, "Bye."
Yeah, I actually remember like the first time I ever experienced actual homophobia was like my not like actual homophobia. They're
Yeah.
all homophobias
Yeah.
actually. I don't know why I said actual, but but uh, I posted me and my like high school girlfriend on my uh Snapchat story or something, and he slid up and said, go die, faggot." And I was like, "Oh," and like we were literally like friends. Like we talked at school. It was like I was just so like taken back. I was like, "Whoa." Like people actually don't want to see this. Like that's crazy. Like
It's crazy that it affects them that much. I think like it's so hard for me to wrap my mind around the fact that there's people out there that it affects them so much. Like because before I came out, like I went through like a phase where like I thought I was straight. Like I was like I
mhm.
like boys, whatever, like that kind of thing. But even when I was completely straight, which I wasn't, but whenever I thought
Yeah.
I was, I had no problem, like no problem at all with gay people. I had so many people in my life that were gay. Maybe that's why I was like so okay with it. But even that's a whole other rant I won't get into. But my point is I don't understand that like even heterosexual humans, like why like I don't know, like why does it affect you so much? Like even when I thought
Yeah.
I was like straight and like I didn't even question my sexuality, I still never had a problem with it. It was just like they're humans loving each other. And if anything, I was like, oh, like I loved it. Like I loved seeing
Yeah.
it. And maybe deep down it was like my brain being like, Kinley, like, come on. But I that's horrible. I'm sorry that someone freaking sent you that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, so how has your understanding of your sexuality evolved throughout your journey? I know that's a loaded question.
Um, I feel like I'm way more comfortable with it now. I feel like I've like even though I've came out like so many times, I feel like I'm at a point that I like actually know where I stand and
Mhm.
everything is good. Like I identify if I have to identify with the sexuality, I would say I'm bisexual because I feel like just I'm over it at this point. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I just because I know I like both, and I think I like just get weird about it sometimes.
What challenges have you faced in navigating your sexuality as a transgender man?
I feel like I luckily haven't had like too many struggles like obviously it changing and stuff, but like I feel like it hasn't been like a struggle for me or anything, so that's been good.
That is good. That's really good because you hear of people having, some really hard challenges that they have faced.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. Especially in this world. This world is so hateful. I know I've said that, but like this world is so hateful and it just makes people's journey of coming out so much harder. It's like just let them be themselves. Like,
Yeah.
I want us to talk about social media. We're like totally going to a new topic. When did you start on social media?
I started on social media like I feel like I've always been on it since I was like 13 trying to blow up on like Musically and stuff, but I
Oh my
like
god.
actually started taking it serious when I was like 16, like actually like I just started actually like wanting it as a job. Like I literally remember sitting with my mom and my brother's now wife at the time they were just it was just his girlfriend, and I was just talking to them and I was like I just really want to do this. I remember seeing like Lauren Gray made like so much money from one TikTok, and I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. Like that's gonna be my job. That's what I'm gonna do. And then like a few months later, I was blowing up, and I was like, I just like I actually did it, and I like started taking it very serious and just started like filming every single day constantly. And yeah,
Yeah, your videos are so amazing. Like whenever you are dressed more feminine and then you like switch it and then it looks more masculine, I'm like, this is so amazing. Like, no wonder you got so many views. I was like, that is, I don't know. I just thought it was really cool, because
thank you.
you're welcome. Because you also, it's like, unfortunately, sometimes like it can be kind of a taboo thing and people get kind of hesitant to post things like that. So I think you also kind of normalized it. And I think that's why people loved you because like I'm sure there were people still doing it, doing your transition videos, but I feel like you were the one that really blew up and it kind of normalized it for people. And I think I don't know. I don't know. I feel like people also viewed you as like someone that was also like a safe space for them, and it was kind of
Yeah.
like relatable for them as well. So I feel like that's why you got a lot of
Oh,
love. I mean, as you
thank
should.
you.
Period. You're welcome. Um. So my next question was, what inspired you to create content? So would you say Lauren Gray was the thing that made you like want
Low
to start?
key, like seeing that post, I was like, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think like, especially with being queer, I think like just wanting to like show people that, and like I always watched like queer YouTube and all these just they were always my favorite, and I think I just wanted to be one. Like I wanted
Yeah.
to be a like queer social media person and like show everything, but like in a way that's like normal. Like I feel like I do things like because it is normal, you know. It's like
Yeah.
like I don't know. I
Yeah. No,
like
I
I
hear
use
you.
viral sounds that are like I make normal videos, but in a way that are like queer and like
Mhm.
fun.
Totally. Did you ever get nervous to like post your life, and like you're obviously like a queer human. So like did you ever get kind of nervous to put your life out there and like post things because the world can be scary? Like did you ever think about, oh,
Yeah,
maybe
for
I shouldn't
sure.
go this route?
Yeah, I feel like I still go down that route like every other week. I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe I should just delete everything that was ever trans online ever and just change everything. Like I
Totally.
do that a lot, and it's like because sometimes it is scary, and like I've gotten like when I like pre-election I went to Washington DC to like this trans rally, and like I was arguing with people outside, like not like arguing, but like just yelling at people and like because all the protesters were there, and it was just
Totally. Totally.
the
As you should.
worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did get like a few messages as I got home, like
Mhm.
saying like I'm gonna come find you. And I'm like, whoa, like,
Oh my God.
that's like scary. Like, I was like, all because I was like saying that trans people are real. Like, my bad.
Just because you're fighting for equality and to
Yeah.
help people realize that yeah, we're humans.
Yeah.
we're all humans. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Well, I don't I hate that. I hate that that has happened. Well, don't let that stop you from going. And I bet it
No.
hasn't, but don't let that stop you because that's amazing that you put yourself in that position. I mean, and it's scary. Like you putting yourself in that position is scary and you still go and do it. So like
Yeah.
props to you.
Thank you.
Um so how would you say your content has like evolved over time? Like when you first started posting, if you can remember, what
Mhm.
were like your first, like what was the vibe that you were trying to go for in the beginning? I know you said like kind of make it, a normal video, but make it queer, but like can you give more details? Like what does that mean?
Yeah, I will like when TikTok first started blowing up, there was always like POV trends that like
Oh
you'd
yeah.
make little like acting videos and
Yeah.
stuff, and I would always do those, and like I would make them like POV going on a date with my girlfriend, like like I would make it queer but still normal,
Hmm.
like obviously being queer's freaking normal, but you know what I mean,
Yeah,
like
normalize it.
normal
You're
for the
trying to
algorithm.
normalize it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and like make yeah, and so I started with like stuff like that, and I think that's like what really started like blowing me up, and then because I already had like before I started making my like gender fluid transition videos, I had like 400K or something, so I was like still had a good following already. And then I think I just started getting really comfortable with who I am and experimenting with stuff, and um I just knew too that like the gender fluid videos I make, like half of them are like so like well thought out, like I really do think about them, like because it's like it's I want that shock factor, like I want people to be like, whoa, what did the frick just happened on my phone, like what just happened.
No, that's what
Like
I'm saying. Like whenever that's what I was trying to say. Like when I saw your videos, I was like like I was just like in
yeah,
in shock. I was like I like
yeah.
in a good way. I was like I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Um okay, what was my next question? I was going to ask you something. Oh yeah, do you ever get nervous with like not nervous. I guess that's not the well, I guess nervous could be the right word. Like overwhelmed with how many people are watching you on TikTok. Like do you ever get
Yeah.
like overwhelmed with that?
Yes, for sure. Like there like sometimes too I'll like especially right before TikTok got banned, I was like just re-watching all my like most viral videos. I was like, this is crazy. And just like seeing the numbers sometimes I'm like like
Yeah.
whoa. Like yeah. So but I think the only time like I feel like I get more nervous to post like I don't know, like I recently just did like a sex toy brand deal, and it's like I'm kind of nervous to post that because I'm like I hope that this doesn't go viral, and like all these people don't see it.
What message or impact do you hope to leave on your audience through your content as a transgender creator?
I hope that when like people watch my stuff, that they just take that like they can just fully be themselves and express themselves authentically, and it doesn't who cares what other people think, like just do it, like who
Mm-hmm.
cares. I feel like when people say confidence is key, it's like it's so cheesy and normal, like just a little
Mm-hmm.
quote, but it's like it literally is so true. Like the second I started becoming more confident with myself, like I felt like I flourished more. So I feel like if anybody takes anything from anything they watch from me, I hope that that's what they take.
Oh, no, and I feel like they do. Like, I feel like that's
But
why people follow you because you've normalized a lot of stuff that should be normalized but wasn't. And so I feel like that's why a lot of people gravitated towards your TikTok and all of your other socials that you have. Can you share the story behind one of your most meaningful posts?
yes, I think I made this one like TikTok to uh, Jealousy by Olivia Rodrigo, and it like went crazy viral. Like it went viral on like TikTok, Instagram, like literally everywhere. It was like one of my most viral videos, and it was about like I was standing in a mirror and I had like there's like little edits of like cis men and stuff above me, like how like the song's Jealousy, so it was just like about that. And I think it just resonated with a lot of people, and I'm glad that that was something like one of my most viral videos. Like I love that my makeup videos do well, my transition videos do well, but like I feel like that had like a message behind it, so for that to be like one of my most viral ones, it's really cool. And yeah.
So how do you decide like which aspects of your journey to share with your audience?
Yeah. I feel like with my gender, I'm very open about literally everything. Like I've talked about like sex and all of that, how like I just talk about everything. I feel like when it comes to like my transition and stuff, I feel like when it comes to like my more personal life, I tend to keep that, which obviously my gender is personal, but like I tend to keep like my family offline, like my relationships offline, besides like occasionally posting pictures of my family or my relationships. But
Mhm.
it's like, I don't ever like, I don't know, I've never been the person to like share stuff online or like, I don't know, I don't really like, I think my like intermediate personal life is like where I draw the line. Like I'll post anything online, but like that's where I'm just like,
Yeah,
that's just for me.
when you focus on yourself, you'll post about it. Like if it has to
Yeah.
do with you, but when it has to do with other people, you're kind of hesitant.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, as you should, period. I get it. And like
Yeah.
props to the people out there that have like, you know, TikToks and Instagrams of like their whole relationship is
Yeah.
online and it's based off of their relationship. God, that's
Yeah.
what I was trying to say. Um, props to them, but I feel
No,
like
for
that
real.
also puts a
So props to them. And like I love stuff like that. Like I said, like I'll occasionally post my relationship and I'll post my family and I'll post stuff. But I just don't think it's like I don't know. I
yeah.
don't need to share every detail to the point people are like, what's going on with your mom? You don't need
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why do you care? Yeah. No, and I've had people on that have had their relationship public
Uh-huh.
and they talk about how like they're never going to do it again. They're like,
Yeah,
the
it's like
world is so hateful. And it's like,
yeah.
you post a picture without your partner and then they're like, oh my God, they broke up. And it's like, I am my own individual human. Like, if I want to post a picture
Yeah.
of myself, I can. Like, me and my partner were great. But it's like, and so, yeah, you're probably dodging a bullet, honestly, by keeping it to yourself. So,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna ask you. We're gonna talk about your hobbies. You're really big into tattooing, and you're artsy. So, why do you think tattooing and art is so important to you?
Yeah. Well, I feel like it all goes into me being queer for real because I feel like queer people are just cool and artsy and awesome or something.
Period.
And like I just feel like I have to do everything. Like I feel like I need to like at least try to do everything. And like tattoo something I just tried one day, like on fake skin,
Yeah.
trying to tattoo, and it. I was like, wow, like I could actually see myself doing this for real. And yeah, I've actually. It's like literally one of the things that I haven't stopped doing because like I love doing clay and like make jewelry and paint, like stuff like that. Love doing that, but I feel like tattooing is something I could like actually do forever, and I think it's very like sentimental and like I think it's very what's the word I'm looking for now.
I know.
Um,
My brain is like dead today.
it's I also have an 8, so that's probably it. But I think it's like spiritual. Like I'm literally tattooing someone, like putting something permanently in their skin for freaking life.
Yeah.
Like so like cool.
Yeah, and it's like they are trusting you. And it's like
Exactly.
you are allowing me to, and it may not, I mean, it is your artwork, but I mean, you may be like tattooing something they want, but it's like it's still your artwork on someone's
Yeah.
body that they will have forever.
Yeah.
I
It's so crazy.
totally get that. Yeah. I feel like that's nerve-wracking. I'd be
It
scared. I'd
is.
be like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, like what if I mess up?" I don't know. Um so have you always been like good at art?
Yeah,
Like
I've always
drawing?
been yeah, I feel like I was just talking to my girlfriend about this the other day, but like I feel like I exceeded in like curriculars at school
Yes,
cuz
extracurricular.
like I I've never been good at school or anything. Like I actually dropped out in high school and stuff. Like I just it was never for me.
Yeah.
Not it.
Yeah.
But like um but I always exceeded at like art and like language arts and like just anything freaking home ec, like loved all
Yeah.
those classes. Like I would always exceed, and so I think that's just I just like art. I just am an artsy person. I don't like I don't know. Like I
No,
feel like any job I choose in the future, if it's not tattooing, it's gonna be something that's arty or something that expresses creativity that I don't like. I don't know.
totally. No, I get it 100%. I feel like there are different types of people out there that it's like they're either book smart or they, not saying that they aren't, but like
No, yeah.
their interests are just in other areas, as
Yeah.
like for example like art or like theater or like
Yeah.
band, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I get that. You talked about like your jobs in the future, like, so are you planning on and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is your job right now just social media?
It is just social media at the moment, and I do tattoo and like I people pay me and stuff, but I don't like get a lot of money from that because I've been only been doing it for a short amount of time, so I only charge like $30 for a fucking tattoo. So
Oh my god, that's really cool. Where are you? Are you in LA?
I'm in Phoenix actually.
Oh, okay, period.
Yeah,
Okay.
I used to
So
live in LA, but it just wasn't for me.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And it's expensive.
Yes, very. Literally drained my bank account.
No, I know. I used to grow up in California, like the San Diego area,
Hmm.
and of course, like the dream is to move back. But I'm like, a studio is like 2,500, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's insane. Like
Yeah.
100% insane. Like that's crazy. Anyways, so are you planning on not doing social media forever?
Yeah, I feel like I don't want it to be forever. Like I think that there's a point in my life where it will just like come to an end and I think I want it to.
Yeah.
Like I don't think like I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of influencers who are like I want to like be way more famous and do all these things but like I don't think I want to. I think
Yeah.
I like where I'm at and like if it went more than cool, but like I don't think I'd want it forever. Like I
Yeah.
think I would want that peace and quiet, settle down, live my life type of vibe. And if I had to like I want a normal job, I want like that. Like
Yeah.
even lately, like I've always wanted to do that. Like
I
and I
love
think
that.
I just was super lucky and privileged to be able to do what I did. So I'd never had to like do anything. I was always just lucky enough to sit in my room and make videos and make money, but like I do want to like do all those things. So I hope eventually I am like comfortable enough to like remove myself, not that I want to at any time in the
Yeah.
future, but like in my distant future. Like once I'm
100%.
like married and have a kid, like I'm probably not going to want to make gender fluid transitions anymore.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you've been doing social media for a while, so it's like, it's
Yeah.
after a while, it's like you said, I'm grateful. I love that I had the opportunity to do this. Like making money, just making videos in your room, like amazing. It makes your life very flexible. Like you can do a
Yeah.
lot with it.
Hmm.
So, but it's not a forever thing, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
Exactly.
What was my next question? Oh yeah, so this isn't in the questions, but it just made me think. So when you post a video on TikTok, do you get paid for the views or the likes? How does that work?
I it's neither actually. It's like if
Oh,
I don't get paid from TikTok themselves. If the only money I make is from like brand deals or like I'll use someone's song and they'll pay me for that
mm,
using that song, and it's always like it's so confusing honestly. Like most of the work I do is it's called like a net 30 or a net 60, and that means I won't get paid until the post is up for 30
mm,
days or 60 days. So
um,
like yeah, my and that like that's what really fucked me up in LA because it's like I would have all this money at once and it was amazing, but then I had to pay rent for like 4 months and then it's like or like 2 months, so then 60 days go by and I'm like, well, fuck, I need that paycheck. Like I'm scared, but
yeah,
like it, yeah, I think that, yeah, that's like how I get paid. And it's always like a base salary. Like I don't really do, because most of the time, if you do like brand deals that have to do with like, you'll get paid per view, you'll get paid per like most of the time they don't do well. So that's why they do it. Like
yeah,
they don't want to pay you as much. So
yeah,
I always do like a base thing and then that's like, I don't know. And my managers do it all for me. So.
yeah. You're like, I just get paid. So how do people get paid off of TikTok then? Like, isn't there
There's
like
like
a creators
yeah,
fund or something?
create there's a the creators fund and then there's a creativity program and
Mm,
you get paid with that program if you make over 1 minute videos and I think that's it. Oh, there's also TikTok does like music stuff, like it's like work with artists is what it's called, I think, and you can like use people's
yeah,
songs and get paid for those, and those are most of the time per viewer per like. But it will tell you exactly like some of them go up to like $3,000, and it will say like if your video gets like 150K views, you'll get 100 of it. If it gets like it'll
Okay.
yeah.
Damn. So do you not do that?
I used to, but sometimes I don't know. Sometimes most of the time the songs are also like that's
Yeah.
why they're paid to use because some of them are like kind of like I knew the video probably wouldn't even reach the $100 mark, so I'm like I most of the time don't do them.
Yeah.
But sometimes they put like really viral songs on there, and it's like shit, like
Yeah.
might as well use it.
You know that song Messy?
Yeah.
Every single influencer I know or have seen, they used it.
Hmm.
Do you think they were paid to do that?
Probably, honestly, like I work with a lot of like people's teams who like Charlie XCX, like her team will send me and my team like her songs before they're released, and then I'll be able to like I will post it like 2 days before she actually releases it to get the momentum on TikTok first. So I do think that probably happened with Messi and like a lot of like I don't know, like Sticky by Tyler the Creator. That was definitely one that was like kind of forced on people. Like it's like it, yeah. And
Totally.
it's so funny sometimes. Like there was this one time a song came on the radio, and I like jokingly said to my mom, I was like, "Yeah, I like blew this song up. Like it's on the radio right now because I like put it on the For You page." Like,
Period.
it's so weird though, because I'm like, dang, I really was like the first person to use like 365 by Charlie XCX, and
It's
that went crazy. I'm like,
crazy.
that's so weird, which it would have anyways. Like, I'm not saying I did it, like, she's talented, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No, yeah.
They they really use influencers to like boost momentum, and I feel like not a lot of people know that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially with like viral stuff, like a lot of even if the song's viral, like a lot of these influencers are still getting paid to like use it. Like
That's crazy. That's
so
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, whenever Messy, I watched like I said, it was like every single scroll. It was like someone
Yeah.
messy, someone messy, someone messy. And I was like, oh my God. And after like the 10th video, I was like, all right, I guess I'll check out this song. And so it worked. It
It
worked. And
does.
now it's like stuck in my head. But I was like,
Me
what is
too.
going on? And it made me think like there has to be something behind it because like
Yeah.
there's no way that every single influencer is using the song and they're like, this is the best song ever. I mean, it was a good song, but I was like, I don't know. Anyways, it was just I knew something was going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at the end of the episode. We're going to play a game. It's called an ick and turn on game. So I am going to ask you questions and you're going to tell me if that's an ick or if that's a turn on.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Is it an ick or turn on if they are religious?
um I fear neither. I don't think I'd be icked out, nor do I think it would be like the best thing in the world.
Yeah. No, I get you. I feel like it'd be hard for me.
Yeah.
You know? Like I feel like there would be like
Yeah.
a disconnect there.
I agree. I like me myself, I'm not religious.
Yeah.
I grew up like having like God talked about,
Mhm.
but my family never went to church. We never like did any of that. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not religious. I don't really believe in anything. I'm just chilling.
We're just chilling. No, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Okay. Ick or turn on if they don't have like a stance on politics at all. They're just kind of like a floater. Like they just don't know about anything.
Ick.
Yeah, that's a big fucking ick. Like disgusting. Because I feel like it kind of screams privilege. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that like, because I
Like, you don't have to worry about it most of the time, so you're not gonna worry about it.
exactly. And so I'm like, I don't know, I just couldn't. Ick or turn on if they are a hard top and they don't enjoy receiving at all.
Ick.
Elaborate. Elaborate.
I don't know. I think I like to give.
No, I get it. No, and that's why I asked the question because I'm like, it could go either way, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm the same way. It's funny. And in one of my episodes, because sometimes I end the podcast with like an ick or turn on game, or I'm
Yeah.
like, let's do a what is it called? Like a God, my brain, a hard. It's called a hard God damn, I can't think of it, but it's something like it's like something controversial that not really, but like something a hot take. God, a
Yeah.
hot
Oh, okay.
take.
Yeah, hot take.
And my hot take was if you are like a little pillow princess and hey, no shame in the game. Like I said in my last episode, no shame in the game. But if you're a pillow princess and you don't ever enjoy giving at all to like your partner, even if that's like touching, like your mouth doesn't have to be involved. Like if you don't like to please your partner ever, period, are you actually like gay? That was my hot take. And
Hot
so
take.
I feel like it kind of goes in with that. But anyways, let's see. I think this is the last one and it's so random, but I thought it was funny. Ick or turn on if they drink milk with every single meal. Like you take them out to on a date and they're like milk, like it's just milk all the
Ew,
time. An ick?
ick. Yeah.
No, honestly, it's kind of gross. I feel like, yeah, okay, yeah, I get that. Um, okay, so that's the end of the episode. Sorry, my brain was all over the place right now. I've only had matcha today, and that's just caffeine, and there's nothing else in my belly, so I probably
Yeah.
should have eaten. But well, Alex, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
I enjoyed talking with you. I feel like I could have asked you so many more questions, but me and my guests, we usually hit almost like 2 hours. And so I as you can see, I'm actively trying to not take up too much time with my guests. So there's improvement here, so I'm happy. But thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And so for my listeners, I post every Wednesday. I have some really cool people coming on. I'm very excited for it. So check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, and the video will be on YouTube. Make sure you check it out on YouTube. And do you want to drop your socials, Alex?
Yes, my TikTok is Staple Your Mouth Shut, and my Instagram is Alex ARYH.
Period. Go check them out. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.